Hello, my ICM friend. My name is Renee Dunnigan. Excuse me. I'm making this video just for you, whether you are killing it in your business or you got your ICM agreement submitted, you submitted your payment, and you've done nothing. I have developed this concept called fogged up goggles, and it's really about your mindset and the filters and the fact that reality is not reality. It's not the same reality for everyone. It's the reality that you create based on the filters in your mind and based on the stories that you tell yourself. And I had to make this video because Troy Dunn just talked to us on Super Saturday. That was, if you're looking for a recording, it would have been May 9th. And he was talking about the entrepreneur glasses and taking off those entrepreneur glasses instead of skipping from one thing to another and taking those off and putting on your focus glasses. So I wanted to kind of take you through the cycle of being an ICM, how it can go if you choose to let it, and an alternative. So check this out, okay? So I have all these glasses and I hope you are laughing along with me. This is not, as Nancy Rowe puts it, this is wrapped in a hug, okay? This is self-love sent out to you, my ICM friend. So, okay, so we get introduced to Renatus, right? And we're like, oh my gosh, the American dream, right? I'm gonna reduce my tax burden. I am going to quit giving the money, all my hard-earned money, to the bank through interest. I can't believe there's a way to do this. And oh my gosh, I can actually create passive wealth, long-term wealth, where people are lining up to pay me every month with their hard-earned dollars through rent checks. What? This is what I've been looking for. Oh my gosh. Oh, and you're telling me that I can write off $12,000 per child and teach them about financial literacy so that they're set up for success in life? Amazing. Where have you been my whole life? Right? That's what we see when we first come to Renatus, because it's an incredible opportunity. It's the education that the 1% get that we do not in the 99%, or we'll say the 95%, right? So we're very excited. We go to an exposure, we go to Super Saturday, we go to see a property tour, we get to see how normal people just like you and I go and buy a property or get control of a property. They purchase it with none of their own money. They put 10 hours into it. They flip it for an incredible profit, $35,000, $45,000, $600,000, depending on the deal, right? That was Kendall Stock down in Southern California. Well, that's actually not his deal, but it was on his property tour on a Saturday, I think in January or February, excuse the dates. So we get really excited because there's so much potential. And then comes the cost. You're like, $28,000 if you're getting the profits course as well. Oh, there's no way. I don't have $28,000. No, I'm done. There's no way. And then, or even $2,000, right? Oh, $2,000 for essentials, and you start thinking about the cost of it, right? The cost of it, and that's too scary because I don't have $2,000, which, let's have a real chat about that. And I'm speaking from experience. If you don't have $2,000 to your name to save thousands, way more than $2,000 in interest, I would say, isn't that the reason you should do this? Why, if you don't have the resources, then you've got to get resourceful. And by resourceful, I mean plugging into the trainings. We've got trainings every day of the week. You just look on our calendar in the Helios system, which is amazing. Talk about automation gold. But if you just look at those trainings, you can see every day of the week, there's something that you can plug into that are being led by people who are making six figures. 6 and 7 figures in multiple areas, whether that be marketing and their passive income by creating a team of salespeople for their business, which is just like corporate America. Just think if you owned Coca-Cola, if you're the CEO of Coca-Cola, no, technically you don't own Coca-Cola. If you're the CEO, you own a piece of it. But the point is, a corporation has salespeople because without sales, there's no business, right? Okay, so you freak out and you're like, well, well, okay. You know what? I can just become an ICM and I will earn my way. This is fabulous. For those of you who got over this, oh no, I'm out. I'm not spending $28,000, even though you probably have a degree that you spent way more and are quite possibly spending or not spending money on student loans. But let's say you got past this, because if you're an ICM, you did. You're like, I can actually make the money by helping people, right? So, you're standing tall and you're like, I am gonna help. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think who says it now. You get what you, if you help enough people, you get what you want. And I can't remember who that quote is. A very famous quote. But this is an incredible place to be. Congratulations for getting over that mindset of can't, won't, my story, my money thing, I'm broke, blah, 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 whatever. Oh, they can do it, but I can't, right? So you got over that and you're like, I will help people and I will win because of it. So you go out there and you just start talking because you haven't done any training. And quite possibly you haven't done any of the onboarding. I don't know your story. I'm just making assumptions. I'm just telling you about some of the people I know. So you haven't done any of the onboarding. You haven't done any training. It's sort of like you get a new job and you go to work and you're like, nah, I don't need any of that training. All I have to do is talk to people because that's all that happened to me. And you go out and you shoot off your mouth and lo and behold, someone says no. Oh my gosh. No, not necessarily no for any other reason except maybe they didn't have enough information because you didn't get any training. So now you're feeling evil, right? You're like, oh, I got rejected, right? And you may not consciously think about it, but subconsciously, our little lizard brains think about this. Think about this for a second. They're designed to keep us safe. They are designed to protect us and to make sure that our little lizard brains that are in the cave, they don't get booted from the cave. Because if we get booted from the cave, then we might get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. And that would be very, very bad. But our lizard brain doesn't know the difference between, oh, I just go ask more people. This isn't my tribe. This isn't my sole source of food and shelter, right? Because you can actually go talk to the other 9 billion people in the world and go get the resources you need. You're a hunter-gatherer. You don't need this one person who said no for whatever reason, whether they've got limiting beliefs or they've got whatever going, they're not resourceful or they don't see the full picture because maybe you didn't have the training to show them the whole picture. So now you're thinking that, oh, this doesn't work. Nobody's, well, you know what? Maybe I'll just ask one more person, right? So you're like, oh, that's it. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. I quit. Yes, 2 people, and you're like, I'm done. No, this doesn't work. And so you do nothing else, and you don't show up to anything. You're like, I don't need training. This just doesn't work. This is a crap company. This is one of those MLMs where you got to recruit all these people, right? Okay. And so if you didn't in the beginning, if you didn't go and Google Renatus and see all the knuckleheads who went spouting about stuff they didn't even know, because this is not an MLM, which means you don't get paid to recruit people. Okay, that's what an MLM is. We do not pay, Bob Snyder does not pay you to recruit people. That's why you don't get a single penny from their 197. 197 builds their business in a box, okay? So now you're like, I did enough work. I talked to so many people. Maybe you did. Maybe you talked to 100 people and you gave them the first exposure, and then you were like me your first couple months and you totally lost track of them. You didn't follow up. You didn't ask them the questions in the training because you didn't do the training, which I did. But the point is, now you're like, that's it. I mean, I'm too old for this anyway. I'm just gonna go get a job. I mean, I've been doing that my whole life. You know what? I have been... And it doesn't matter if this is a 2-0 or 3-0 or 4-0 or an 8-0. It doesn't matter, because you know what you could go back to is the things that are comfortable. And if you have been struggling financially or just at a mediocre lifestyle and just kind of pulling the pieces together just fine, it's very easy to say, oh, I don't need the passive income. I've been doing okay so far, right? This isn't for me. I knew it wasn't going to work. I tried that Mary Kay thing back in the 80s and 90s, and it didn't work for me then. So, this whole direct sales thing, it just doesn't work. It's not for me. And those people who made the Nancy and the Scott Rose, they were just lucky, right? The $4.8 million, that was just luck. The Michael Huggins, his multi-million dollars in market, that was just luck. There's something, they know something I don't. They're just better people. They're not afraid. Well, of course you're going to do it, Renee, because you're outgoing. I've heard that before. Nothing could be further from the truth. I want to tell you just a little bit about mindset, about being outgoing. This whole Corona thing really put it into perspective when everything went online. I'm loving it. I am not an extrovert. I don't need to be around people and hugging people and having all this social interaction to feel good. I'm all about the results. I'm a director, right? So I'm just like lifestyle freedom. Dude, I don't have to go show up at a meeting and spend an extra hour of travel time and do my hair and my makeup and put on an outfit that's uncomfortable. I am loving this, right? That makes me not an extrovert. But what I do have is I have 100,000% certainty that what we offer at Renatus, whether it's the essentials, whether it's helping people keep more of their money, I know 1,000% that is critical, that people need to keep more of their money. They work so hard. And if that is all they take from it is saving money on amortized interest, I know they have paid for their essentials course, that $2,000 or with financing, whatever. I know that they have well exceeded that. The return on investment is 1,000% worth me talking to enough people to help them with that. Right? Profits course. I know with 100,000% certainty that the profits course, who is taught by industry experts, Eric Counts on automation, I know that's going to put time back in an entrepreneur's day. That is critical. That time is worth a finite dollar amount. If they are running their business wise, that is money, time, resource. It's a resource which you cannot get back. Time can be spent in other places working on their business instead of in their business. I know that the Rob Sperry class on social selling is going to be critical, because how many times have you put out content? How many times have you been on Facebook and you're talking about your business, but then you're not getting any results? I did that. I know that that's huge value. As an investor, gosh, I've been working on being an investor for years, for 25 years. That's ridiculous, right? Shame on me. But you know what? Here's the thing. I didn't know what I didn't know, because I took classes, I saw videos, I was on podcasts, I was on YouTube videos as those got popular, right? But you don't know the chunks that are missing until you actually go to do a deal, and then you're like, what do I say here? How do I answer this question? Now what do I do? Right? And when you don't have a community of people to bounce these ideas off of and check your understanding and do your first couple of deals with, are you really going to do them? Probably not. And let's say you're a successful fix and flipper. You know what? You just created yourself a job. That is not passive income, because as soon as you stop doing fix and flips, now you have no income, right? So it's taking that next step. So whether that be converting from the active investing to the passive investing. Now maybe you're a note investor, right? Or now you've got buy and holds because you've done a couple of deals. Now you can put that money and make it work for you. Maybe you're doing different strategies. You're leveraging other people's mortgages to buy properties. Like, this is the stuff that we grow and we learn, but having a community where deals are constantly coming in and you're using each other to develop your skills, to develop your resources, to OPM. Like, if you saw Rich Dad Poor Dad, any part of that, it was all about other people's money. I want you to start thinking about other people's time and other people's energy, okay? So anyways, back to you. Oh, those other people are lucky, right? And now you're giving up. Now you're feeling defeated. And now you're avoiding the person, your enroller, right? Your enroller's texting you, hey, are you coming to this event? Hey, we're gonna hop on a phone. Hey, let's do a strategy call. Hey, let's do a 3-way call. Hey, let's talk about your goals. Let's talk about next steps. And you're like, oh, I can't do it because the phone is recording. But now you're like, ignore, 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 ignore. And you're pretending like that person doesn't exist. And that poor enroller's trying their best to help you because they don't get paid. They don't get paid for you to do nothing, right? Because we're not in an MLM. So they are only successful if you're successful. We have an incentive to care about each other's success, right? We want to put into you as much as you will take it so that you will see those results for yourself. If you make $10,000, then your helper gets paid, right? But we can sit here and we can give you all the time and energy and focus on you and give and give and give and give and give. But if you never take action and if you never borrow the belief of the people who have made $4.8 million and $3.8 million and $2 million and $100,000, if you never borrow that for yourself and take those steps that they did, your enroller is just wasting time, right? They could be focusing on somebody else. So let it be you. Let this be your year. Here's what happens next. I'm just gonna self-medicate. That ICM thing was stupid anyway. You know what? This doesn't work. You know what? I'm gonna watch Netflix. I'm gonna Netflix and chill. Right? I'm gonna power watch Hulu this weekend. Instead of those I know, you know what, I ended up getting my classes, but you know what, I'm not gonna, stuff doesn't work anyway. I watched 3 classes and I didn't get anything out of it. Never mind that you didn't actually take the action steps, but you're just gonna ignore it. I'm just gonna eat. I'm gonna eat some more. I'm gonna spend some money on other things that aren't gonna actually propel me to the next step. I'm just gonna self-medicate, right? Tell me it's not true. Tell me you don't backslide into your old story and your old behaviors. I know, because I did. Because I started in November of 2019, and do you know what I did? I went to a bunch of trainings, but I didn't take the action. And when I learned a training, do you think I followed up? Do you think I followed through? No, I didn't, because I went right back to my old story. My ADHD, I let that get in the way. So then you're back here. Just a piece of the information with that burning in the back of your mind, like, I know there's a better way, but you know, I'm gonna ignore that, right? I'm not gonna see it because it doesn't work for me. I knew it wasn't gonna work for me. Do you want to live like that? I invite you to borrow some belief, because you don't need to believe it for yourself. Just need to borrow a little bit from the people who are taking action. If you're not action oriented, you're never going to get anywhere. Think about if, as a baby you were action oriented, you fell as you were trying to learn how to walk, you got right back up and you tried it again, and you fell and you got right back up and you tried it again. Now, if your parents had said, oh, sweetie, you tried it, it's okay. It's okay. You're just never going to be a walker. Can you imagine running around crawling every day of the rest of your life because your parents are like, no, it's okay. You don't need to walk. You tried so hard. It's too difficult. Right? So what I'm inviting you to do is to change your mindset. Let's take away the stress. Reconnect with your enroller, and just remember, everything's groovy, right? Everything is groovy if you decide it's going to be. Or you can make it super hard. Choice is yours. What do you choose? I challenge you to get back with your enroller. If you haven't done anything with your business, if you are not where you want to be, look, I am one. I am a 1 star. That I know I'm better. I'm better than that. Well, technically I'm a 3-star, but it hasn't come yet. So 1 star. I'm not a 5-star. That is the point. And I know I'm capable of being a 5-star. Do I know what I did to get here? Absolutely. I didn't make enough phone calls because I let those people get in my head. I allowed them to affect my mindset. Instead of staying plugged into the people who are making it happen and borrowing that mindset, I detached and I had my story and I went right back to all my childhood programming of you're not good enough, you're not smart enough. See, I knew you couldn't do it, right? I'm there with you. If that's where you are, I invite you, come on back. Come on back. If your enroller is not where you want to be, if your 5-star is no longer around, whatever the case, it doesn't matter. You have all access to everyone else. You have access to all of the amazing people who will give and give and give and give. And they love this. They love this environment because we've got an incredible leader who has a servant leadership mindset. So, if you're not where you want to be, please, please plug back in. Please. Even if you want to reach out to me, just let's do this together. Let's make this the best year yet in spite of the corona. Love you guys. I hope to see you on the other side. I hope to see you walking across the stage at next year's nationals, which hopefully will not just be online, which I'm sure it won't. It's going to be amazing. And I hope to see you at Leadership Conference. And yes, get it out of your head. It is not going to be closed down. We are going to Leadership Conference. All right. See you guys. Love you.